Quite a bold statement this, and I'm not going to say it lightly. I think this is the best EV for agility and drivability. It's just so good.
That's not the only thing that's bold either. Currently it'll set you back around 760 quid a month. And as always, if you're in the market for a new car, head over to our website where we offer the largest range of lease deals across the UK.
When Porsche announced the Macan Electric, I thought the back end was just hideous. However, since driving this car for 4 days, I've noticed it gets a little bit excited and then it becomes a lot more tolerable. That, for me, completely transforms the back end and it looks fantastic. But you'd be glad to know it gets even more aroused than this. And the spoiler is now fully erect, and you'll see that on the road test. Normally, I would lift the bonnet on a car like this and start to show the engine and talk about the specs. Obviously, I can't do that because this car is 100% battery. It has a 100 kilowatt hour battery, but only 95 kilowatts of that is usable. It produces 340 brake horsepower. However, when utilizing launch control, it produces 360 horsepower and 563 Newton meters of torque. The 0 to 60 time of this car is a little bit on the slower side. It's 5.7 seconds, and it also has a top speed of 137 miles per hour. But what I will say is, when you do drive it, it certainly doesn't feel slow. It feels very quick and very refined. And we'll get into that later on in this video when we do get it out on the road. There is one feature that I really like about this car, and the fact is that it does have a frunk. However, you can operate it with the key, or you can simply just get close to it and wave your hands around, and it should just come on. It did it before. Hello? Is it the foot thing? What is it? Come on, unlock. There we go. You can also pop the frunk on the key, and where the button is actually positioned, you find you do this by accident. So I found recently this week, I've been walking out of wherever I've been and the car has been parked, and I've walked back, press the wrong button and the bonnet opens. But if you press it, very nice and seamless, opens. 84 litres of space in here, lovely plastic trims all around, and it just looks really premium, and it is quite a useful space. Taking a look at the Grandad statistics, button operated again, boot opens, very nice space. You actually get 540 litres in here, and if you fold the seats down, you get around 1350 litres. A very, very good amount of space. You've got these lovely brushed aluminium scratch plates here. If you pop this up and lift below, that's where the best option available on this car is spec'd. That is the Bose surround sound system with a huge subwoofer in the boot, so there's not much you can do with the space there. And where it gets even better in the boot space is, this is where I feel like Porsche have actually listened to all my gripes over the years with reviewing cars. You actually get a 230 volt 13 amp socket outlet, and that is perfect for like your cool boxes, boiling a kettle, maybe you're sat here and you just want to plug something in. It's just so ambidextrous, and it is great and adaptable. Where it gets even better is there is a button over this side, and if I just press it, you'll note a tow bar comes down, and with a light pull it just clicks into position. Now this tow bar, believe it or not, can cope with towing 2 tons. 2 tons on an electric vehicle. And that brings me on to say, what on earth would the range be like whilst towing this car? Well, sadly, I haven't had time to actually test that because I've only had this car for 4 days. But if you do want to see what the towing capacity is and the range capacity is with the Macan Electric, drop us a comment below. I'll go back to the Porsche press office and I'll say, give me the car again, please.
But let's be honest, I can probably predict how the range would react, not the best. And who even, pardon the pun, would choose an EV to tow a caravan?
Now the Macan Electric starts at around £68,500, which I think is a very, very reasonable price given how premium of a brand Porsche are. The problem is this car is £90,000, and when you convert that into the monthly figures on a lease, it means a bog standard version of this car is going to cost you around £700 a month, and that is very pricey. I think this particularly is more aimed at the business owner. There is some great tax reliefs on electric vehicles as company cars or salary sacrifice, but when I compare the cars that I drive frequently and what you can get for around the £300 to £400 a month mark, this has got a lot to live up for in the monthly figures. But when I look at the actual purchase price, I don't think it's that bad. This particular car comes with a 21-inch Macan design wheels, and these will set you back around an extra 1,600 quid. And the problem with that is when it comes to leasing is if you add the option onto the lease, it gets divided across the term in a lease and it makes your monthly payments a lot more expensive.
And to make the maths math, let me explain with some simple numbers. If you decided to add £1,200 worth of options to your lease and the term was 12 months, this is likely to increase the cost of the lease by £100 a month. And this is why it's better to shop the deal and not the exact car with a particular spec.
Now when you get into the back, the first thing you realise is just how premium and fresh this car is. The smell of the leather is just gorgeous. I just love the airy feel and the appearance that this car has inside. Legroom isn't the best, but it's enough so you feel comfortable. Headroom's actually okay. Seats very cushioned and comfortable. You've got an armrest down here with 2 cup holders in. You've got 2 little vents down here which you can turn on and off, but you cannot adjust the temperatures. That has to be done in the front. Where this car gets a lot nicer to sit in the back is when the panoramic roof is open. It's absolutely massive and it lets a hell of a lot of light in. One thing that is good though, in this car, the ambient lighting is very adaptive to its surroundings. Now in this door, you can't see it because it's currently daylight. What actually happens is this illuminates red and the door pulsates red backwards and forwards just to alert you that there is an obstruction there and you don't want to wipe the door out. Oh dear. It appears the child locks are operated. I'm going to have to climb out this way. Oh dear. Ugh. The first thing you notice when you get inside here is it just evidently feels like a Porsche. The steering wheel, to date, I believe is the most beautiful thing to hold, to feel, to actually use, to drive, to even look at. I think the design of it is just sensational. The other thing I really like with these doors is to actually open them, you don't need to do a full pull. If you just do a half trigger pull on the actual lever, it kicks the door out so you're not putting too much strain on the pillarless glass. So if you just do this, you'll notice it kicks the door out. And as you close it, the seat and all the steering wheel comes back together. I should add though, this interior is quite an expensive option. And then the other thing that I noticed on the options list is this Porsche crest in the headrest. And it's it's £180. £180. They can't even give you their own logo on the seats. You have to pay for it.
And the options don't stop there. Here's a full list of what you have to pay extra for. The metallic paint, the wheels, the 2-tone leather, the electronic seats, front Isofix mounts, black roof rails, the tow bar, PASM suspension, sport chrono pack, which is a must in my opinion, the laser LED headlights, the crest on the headrests, the heated steering wheel, external cameras, adaptive cruise control, which comes standard on a Golf SE, keyless entry, which is a whopping £722, and Bose surround sound, all of which totals up to just shy of £14,000. Moving swiftly on, what is it like to drive?
Honestly, I absolutely love the fact that Porsche have never bought into the flat bottom steering wheel. They just make a circle steering wheel look so perfect and feel so perfect. And if there's one thing I have to say, it's Porsche know exactly how to make an EV. I know that isn't the pedigree, and I kind of anticipated it might be a bit naff, but they've absolutely nailed it, believe me when I say it. One thing I've always found with Porsche though is the regen braking in the car is not aggressive. It's either on or off. You can't actually go around in the settings and decide how harsh it is. You just have an on and off button. Now when it's off, the car holds its speed incredibly well. It doesn't decelerate. But when the regen is on, it also does the same, and I don't really know how it actually produces any battery. Now the range of this particular model is 361 miles, but as the varied model it's around 333, and to be honest with you, I don't think that is incredibly accurate. I've charged this car to around 90% because it isn't worth sitting there for that extra 10%. It just takes ages. Obviously you would do that at home. But at around 90%, it seems to have around 240 miles in it, and that's with the regen turned on.
But where the Macan is considerably better than most Batmobiles is on the motorway. The range seems to increase and last a lot longer than what it displays round town. However,
the bings and bongs in this car, they're not intrusive, they're not loud, they're there sometimes, but they're not enough to wind you up.
And it's a shame other manufacturers don't take the same approach.
Shut up! Stop!
Anyway, how accurate is the claim 0 to 60?
I'm just going to put it into Sport Plus mode. I'm going to come to a stop. Traction is on, aero spoiler is on, left foot hard on the brake, hold the throttle, launch activated, 3, 2, 1. Nice start. 30, 40, 50, 60. I tell you what, that feels quite good. If I just flick this down into Sport Plus mode, the first thing you notice is the PASM suspension. It does bounce around a little bit. I'm going to press the button for the spoiler to get excited, and this is where it gets even better. If I just put my foot down now, the power of that is sensational, and the spoiler is now fully erect, and it looks so much better. Look at that. When you do come down to brake and you do drop down to about 40 miles an hour, the spoiler de-erects itself and goes back to the middle position. But when it comes up, it is full ducktail ASBO mode. Honestly, the way it sticks, this car, it just feels so planted. It literally feels like it's just on rails. The steering's so direct, no bagginess involved. Just a little tap and you're over to the other side of the road, and that's especially noticeable on the motorway. When you're going around 70 miles an hour, you're just a little flick of the steering wheel and you could certainly be over 2 lanes. Most EVs deliver power in a gradual way and they do have harsh acceleration, but this just doesn't let off. It doesn't lose it at the top end. It just feels fantastic. I just love that spoiler in the back. That's just to remind you that, yep, we're in business now, and I'm going to make sure there's enough downforce there to keep the back wheels from spinning on the road. I never thought I'd say it because I'm a true, utter petrol head, but my God, this car's good. If you are considering leasing an EV, just try a Porsche EV, because there's something about it that us motoring journalists just cannot describe. They just feel so much better.
And I suppose that's because Porsche cracked making petrol cars first. They've continuously refined them over time. What was once a Beetle is now a shouty flat 6 911. And what was once a petrol Macan is now electric, but it still drives and feels like a proper car. The only thing that's missing is some noise.
It's quite a bold statement, this, and I'm not going to say it lightly. I think this is the best EV for agility and drivability. It's just so good. And I'm not gonna lie, and I'm being a bit biased here, that is by far the best badge in the motoring world. It's just gorgeous. The way it looks, the pride, the pedigree. Is it right that an EV's wearing it? Well, yes, most probably. Because if we talk about the EV mandate, obviously manufacturers have to sell so many electric vehicles throughout the year. If they don't, they'll end up getting fined 15 grand a car there on afterwards.
So you owe the Macan Electric a huge thank you. It's because of cars like this that the Cayman, Boxster and 911 are still being made. And this is why 9 times out of 10 you can pick up an electric car for an absolute bargain. They're simply keeping the manufacturers afloat by hitting the EV mandate quotas, allowing them to sell what petrol heads truly want.
Oh my!
Speed, noise and smiles per gallon.
It should not be able to do this. It should not be this capable. There is one question I do have for the voiceover though. How can I afford a 911?